Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Foundation with Howard Grant right here, jamming with you. It's just grateful to be in your company always. I hope that the water has resided or subsided in your house, right? I see this water splashing all over people's house. I see this water doing a great deal of things. So I hope you guys are good out there in the city of Nassau, more specifically. And wherever you are throughout the country, I hope that you're doing well and being able to do these things. Today is September 30th. The last day of the month. The month of September is really a birthing month, a month that we gave birth to a great deal of things, more specifically here on the foundation. We're grateful for you and grateful to you for being able to support us in what we do as we continue to be able to go forward. We ask that you guys kind of pick up the realigner. We told you that the realigner, all the information's in there. You can be able to pick up the realigner. It's at various locations. Let me see if I can pull that up right now. Is at various locations in Grand Bahama, in here in Nassau, and definitely in. So you got at Bellevue Gift Supplies. You can be able to pick up the realigner. At Municipal Motors, you can do that. Prescription Polypharmacy in 8 Mile Rock, you can do that. This is in Grand Bahama. Here in New Providence, I got to be able to re-up these places. I know these persons have already been able to do what they had to do. So the Garden of Eden, Roker's Gas Station, Porky's, Esso East Street, Esso Village Road, Shell on Prince Charles, Kenneth right there on Prospect Ridge, and Burton. You can be able to pick those things up. And Exuma are also at Smitty's and at 8 Till 8 and Trinae's. All right. I want to thank you guys, man. Thank you so much for being able to be a part of what we're doing and jamming with us. It is a wonderful day, and I got some good company, man. I got some persons who have been doing some stuff in the constituency, and a lot of persons have been being able to talk about that, the constituency of Mount Moriah. But more specifically, his capacity and what he's been doing in this executive chairman capacity over at Bahamas beaches, public beaches, and public parks. He's been doing a wonderful job, and he had some stuff being able to come up and allow him to be able to talk about that. I want to introduce you to none other than the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mount Moriah constituency, McKell Bonaby. My brother?
Glad to be here, Howard.
I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
I really am. You're always looking sharp.
Trying to keep up with you, bro.
You need to stop.
Hey, come on, man.
I can bring you a scarf.
And we started fashionably late.
We did start fashionably late, right?
Right.
But we're going to get all this information in now. Introduce yourself to persons out there. Let them know who you are.
Well, my name is McKell Bonaby. I'm the Member of Parliament for Mount Moriah, the Executive Chairman of Public Parks and Beaches, a husband, a father, and someone that believes in our country, someone that believes that we can go to another level. And that's why I started campaigning and working from 2010 in Mount Moriah. And I think that beyond just myself, the team that we have in the Progressive Liberal Party, led by our wonderful Prime Minister, is doing just that. We're making a huge difference in the lives of many Bahamians, and that's what I'm all about, making a difference.
You are. And I want to say something to you. I know that you're a member of Parliament in your capacity as executive chair, but most recently we would have been able to see it really come to light with the passing of another cabinet minister. And I know that you want to be able to say one or two words about that Honorable Vaughn Miller, who passed away most recently. So I'll give you an opportunity to be able to say that.
Well, he was a very different kind of individual. And let me tell you what I mean by that. He had a spirit of forgiveness in him. And people talk about humility, but a spirit of forgiveness, you can tick him off, say whatever you want to say about him. And as big as he is, he could have returned fire, and he refused to return fire. And a lot of us would if people tick us off, you know. And so that's what I learned from him. He was a family man. He always talked about his family when we ate in the lunchroom, talked about, spirituality, talked about Africanism, African pride and where we came from, talked about God. And he would always start, his presentations in the house with Elohim. He would always talk about God, and he put God first. And not just put God first, he kept God first. And so he was an example beyond just politics, because, politics, we're here for a season, some of us longer than others. He served his country, but it's the impact and the way that you make people feel stays much longer than we may be on the earth.
Yeah. I'm glad that you were able to say that, because some of those things, have a tendency to kind of just drift off in your mind. But like you did say, I remember that he really was a warm soul.
How it was so shocking, and it just reminds us how fragile
Woof.
life truly is. Just fragile.
It blew my mind.
And it reminds me that you got to live.
Yeah.
You got to live
Today.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
And so if you're not doing that, then you're wasting time. And he found his purpose. And he was able to say, my work in this particular season and capacity is done, and understood. And when we hear Leslie Miller talking about him and saying that, look, man, I got to spend more time with my family. It resonates because
that's a sentiment for a great deal of members of parliament.
All of us. It's a major sacrifice.
Yeah.
We sign up, right? We sign up, so obviously the public expect a lot from us, and we expect a lot from ourselves. This is great work that we're doing, and I don't mean great as in a good time. I'm talking about in terms of scope. I'm talking about in terms of the amount of lives that we have to touch, and I'm talking about the depth of the work that we have to do.
Yeah.
And so this is great work. And so in that comes great sacrifice.
Absolutely.
With our families, our friends, and ourselves. And so we put ourselves aside and we do the people's work. And to hear our colleagues say to us who are still in the battle, remember first fruits. Put God first, your country, your family, and just hearken unto that kind of advice, even from the grave.
Wow. It's amazing that you would have said that. You really being able to kind of jog my memory and bring a great deal of things up, because I know him personally. And he is really humble in his posture. And like you said, really forgiving. A great deal of persons within this particular sector, they ain't forgiven.
Man, you say something, but some people, man, they holding that for life.
Hey.
For life.
You may think they forget.
You might lose your job.
You may think you forget.
They swing the block.
In 2 years, they're coming right back.
They swing the block
They're
on you.
coming right back for you.
So, yes, sir.
Right, but so he's been really being humble, and I think a lot of us learned lessons from that. Have you learned any lessons from that? Being able to see him in that, because I know that you've been in the game, being able to serve even under former ministers and members of parliament, and really been able to serve in the various capacities, right? And then you found yourself formally in this thing. I'm sure that you would have learned a great deal from the men and women before you.
I've learned a lot, but what they've done is they've underscored things that are important. And I think you have to come into this with a certain mindset of your own. And then you go to those who know the way, and you say, this is what I would like to accomplish. These are some of the things that have been instilled in me. This is how I want to see my country. And if we're just talking specifically to those who've gone before us in terms of politics, you sit with them, you talk with them, and you learn from them. Because it is completely different from when you're campaigning, from when you're in governance.
Yeah.
Governance is a totally different kettle of fish. It's very expansive.
I don't think people know that.
You go from debating a budget, and then you get a call, and the calls that I welcome, and, Mama Roll can call you, and she can say, yeah, Bonaby, you did good in the House of Assembly, but I get one dead dog in the back of my yard. I need you to move that.
Right away.
I need you to move
And you got
that.
to move.
Man, I got to move it.
Okay.
Some of them I move myself.
Okay.
Because that's the scope of the work, and that's what they demand of us, and that is the entry to admission.
Has there ever come a time that you said that, wow, this is too much?
Never. What I do say is that this is a privilege to serve. I remind myself that. And I always say, remember the mission.
It's heavy to say that, because a lot of members of parliament's posture, whether or not they say it with their mouth, their posture has always been, it's a privilege for you to have me.
No.
As opposed to, it's a privilege for to serve and approach this with humility. We find a lot of persons amplified with arrogance, unfortunately.
One of the things I said to my team is, we are going to treat our first year like our last year. Out the gate. We can treat my first year like our last year.
Talk to me about that.
Well, I've studied the game. I've studied what we do. And in politics, first impressions is everything.
Yeah.
And I said to my team, we have to be transformative. And in being transformative, we're building a community center, and we've repaved roads, and we fixed rusty water, that low water pressure that's been down for about 40 years. But one of the most transformative things that I see in politics, because we have had voter atrophy, one of the most important things is being a man or woman to your word. Your word. And so, I knock on doors during the campaign, and I say, Miss Roll, or Miss Smith, or Miss Daisy, or Sir, or Mrs. Smith, or Mr. Colebrook, give me a chance. Please. I ain't let you
Straightforward.
down.
No long words and none of these things.
Listen,
Straightforward.
I tell them I need you.
I need your vote.
I
I
need
need you
you.
to give me a chance.
And I don't want to let them down.
How's about Mariah responded to that?
Well, initially, we won in 2021, the 16th of September. We had a recount. I don't know why, because we won by a good number in the hundreds. But we had a recount. We attended the recount. And after the recount, I said to my team, we can hit the ground. We can hit the ground. And my team could tell you we got the video footage, September 17, we were back on the ground. And I went to this lady's house. And I said, good afternoon, ma'am, how you doing? She said, man, I want to see y'all, man. All y'all is lie. All y'all is lie. Y'all is go missing. I said, ma'am, I'm here. I'm here.
And this is the day after victory.
This is a day after, because people can't believe it. Because you in this for yourself. You in this for me, man. And people have been so shell-shocked throughout the years that they can't believe it. They won't believe it.
Heavy.
You here, mom, but you ain't here.
It's heavy.
And I hold on her. I say, mama, I here. She said, man, all you all like. I used to crack this little joke on the trail. I would say, they say, Bonaby, first time I meet a person, mom, Bonaby, I want to see you, man. I said, well, anyway, go get his stick, the next person's stick. You could beat me with that stick. Because I meet them stick here. And so I knew the pressure that was on.
That's heavy.
Not just on me, but on them. But listen, and a lot of people wouldn't be this frank. But when we get together, I feel, a brotherhood here. I could say some things to you. I feel like we're having a private conversation, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at the data. No one will tell you this. They ain't gonna tell you this. They ain't gonna tell you this, Howard.
Tell me the truth. Don't.
Data says.
I got some data too.
Just like a used car, after you win the general election, just like when you drive off the lot, the car depreciates.
The value depreciates.
But right away. Right after you win, the value goes down. You in a value race. You are in a valuation race because the data says that you're going to be unelected. But you have to say to yourself that you are going to give your absolute all to this. And what I've seen in the new crop of members of parliament, we ain't accepting that.
Wow.
We're not going to accept that. Not for ourselves, but because the reward on the back end is if you get to the people and you help the people.
Yeah.
If you help them, they will return to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took a while. It took a while, and I said, I don't plan on losing no value. I don't plan on losing no value.
Have you?
I've grown in value because think about this, Howard. People went to those polls knowing me from being the right-hand man of Arnold Forbes.
Okay.
Right?
I was waiting for you to tell us that.
Man,
you didn't see me. I insinuate that.
Man, listen.
But this is what you've done.
Man, Arnold,
You've been in this game.
Arnold tell me go get his bag, I go get his bag.
Okay.
He tell me go pull up the car, I go get the car. He say, Bonaby, what we feel like eating? I know that question ain't for me. He telling me what he ready to go eat. I said, what you want, boss? He said, you want Subway? I go get the Subway. He said, I feel like eating something healthy.
You never had pride in service.
I gotta serve. That was the big homie.
This heavy.
That's still the big homie. That's the big homie.
There's a level of pride that persons carry. Why would you use an eye?
No, see, my team sometimes have to tell me, man, use the MP, I can lift that. I can do that. See, because I've been a general longer than I've been an MP. I've been a general. And I know what it feels like to want something. Listen, I've sat in MP's offices, not many, waiting for them to come, and no show. He say he can come back. He coming back on Monday, but he traveling. I say he get the resume, bring the next resume back. I said, but I leave that here on Monday. You give it to him, man. So I remembered that, and I said, if given an opportunity,
I would never.
No, I can try my absolute best.
My God.
And no one could ever say, I could say this nationally, no one could ever say that I promised them anything. Let me tell you a story, Howard. There was a gentleman, big time PLP, big time, big family. During the election, he said, "Man, Bonaby, I know you're going to win." I said, "How you know I'm going to win?" He said, "Man, you going to win." He said, "Come here." He said, "Walk right there." I said, "What you saying?" He said, "Man, I need you to promise me something." I said, "Promise you something?" I said, "What you want me to promise you?" He said, "I want X, Y, and Z." I said, "But I ain't even
That's
know
3 things. That's a lot.
I say, but
He
I
need to
said,
calm down.
Right. And I say, "But I ain't know where the boss can put me. So I can't tell you, I can't do that. I can't make that kind of commitment." So he said, "Bonaby, look inside the house, man." So I look in the house, put 7 of them with BLB shirt on. He come back out, he said, "Bonaby, I need you to promise me. All of them is yours. They're yours." So I say, "Sir, I can't do that." So he said, "Bonaby, look in that house again. This time they had pom-poms. They said, 'We ready now.'"
What kind of thing this is?
They say they ready. They say they ready now. So I looked at him, and I say, "Sir, to be honest,
I still can't promise you."
I can't." So he said, "Boy, I want to use something else, you know." He said, well, then lie to me. Give me something to hold on to." So, but I was committed, and I was able to sort him out after we won, because I know that whatever you say
And
on
you ain't
that
sure if you get
campaign,
all. You ain't sure if you get all 8 votes.
I got all
7
of them.
You get all.
Because I saw him on election day.
Praise God.
He said, "Bonaby,
They still had the shirt on and the pom pom.
Man, he said, "Listen to me." He said, "Bonaby, you're going up 7.
Praise God.
You're going up 7. I know about everybody else on the line, but you're going up." And I had a lot of people did that. And going back like a Baptist preacher to what you said, did you get stronger? Those people didn't know me. They know me now. They know me now. They know what they are getting in their MP.
This heavy what you're saying.
Yeah, man, they know me.
I like this. I like this kind of
Just-
conversation. You know.
They know me.
I like this kind of conversation.
You could get me.
because
They get me 10 o'clock at night.
your
12 o'clock.
opponent, your former opponent, who is now your current opponent,
Yes, sir.
all right? He was dead fast and set. You know, I did a couple interviews with him. You know that.
I saw you.
You did too.
Yeah, man, right by the constituency
You're making me
office.
seem like I do something wrong.
No,
He said,
man, you got to do
I
your
see
thing.
you, Howard.
Do your thing.
Right?
Do your thing. Be ready.
So listen. He was adamant about the fact that he was going to be able to be victorious in his constituency. He was sure that despite the rhythm of the valuation that existed, like you talk about, despite the fact that over the past 15, 20 years, almost 25 years that we've gone through FNM, PLP, FNM, PLP, and certain constituencies, is that he was adamant about the fact that he was going to be victorious. He was not.
The victory is the Lord's. Let me say that.
Chateau Monande. Go ahead.
Yeah, the
Let me
victory is the Lord.
me
It's
hear
not
it.
ours. He determines our faith. But let me say this. 2017 is completely different from 2021. Every election cycle is different.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, man, if you go in there.
23 ain't 45.
Yeah, man.
That's Jordan.
Yeah. And we come back like Jordan waving the 4 or 5. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We could do that. We could do that too. But the thing is, 17 was completely different. There's a line in The Wire where they fight on that lie. Slim Charles said, "We can fight on that lie," and they fought on a lie. They said, "Where the pot money gone?" And I'm going somewhere with this. It was smooth sailing in 2017 for good members of parliament on the progressive liberal side. Good members of parliament lost. So when you win so easily, you don't really understand the lay of the land. You have to understand that all victories run through the people. That same man who slide from under his car and say, "Bonaby, come here." You got to go. That's your boss. And you have to remember that. See, listen, I didn't apply for a ministerial post. I applied to be the member of parliament of Mount Moriah.
Ooh.
I ain't applied for no ministerial post.
Ooh.
I applied to be
Isn't it crazy?
the member of parliament of Mount
When you
Moriah.
see some people.
So I need the 3 Jeeps.
Oh, hold on. Wait.
I need them.
Wait.
I need the 3 Jeeps.
When you see some people,
I
because
need the police
that's a
reinforcement.
vivid picture popped up in my head just now.
Yeah.
I applied to be a member of parliament, not a minister.
That's what I applied for.
There are some people that show up right away with the posture
Yeah, man.
and the language of a minister.
You hear some of us before you
You
see
wouldn't even
us.
get the language of a servant.
Yeah, so for me, see, I know the fellas through Derby Road. I know them through Melbourne Road and Major Road. I know the people through Sister Maria Ramen, Halifax, Blenheim. I know them. And so I know if you don't perform, you're gone. You hear me? And sometimes you perform and still be gone. So I got to start there and stay there.
I like this posture.
Yeah, man, I got to stay there. I with them.
Now listen, it
They with me,
seems
I with
as
them.
though in your capacity as executive chairman of Beaches and Parks, you would have taken over from Shannon Cartwright, who was there for the former administration,
Right.
and you would have met some things out of order and done some best. I got to say it like that. I got to be decent, right? And you done your best to kind of put it together. Most recently, you would have been able to had social allegations levied against you, and saying the monies are short, these things are happening, so forth and so on. I want to ask you this question. You could tell me about that, but I want to ask you whether or not you feel like there's a target on your back, more specifically for the individual that you had gone against in your MP capacity,
Right.
in your constituency capacity, and also taking on this particular charge. Because do you feel where I go?
Yeah.
I try to be decent with
yeah,
it.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
good.
the thing is, people say, I don't say. People say, the fellas say, you got powerful families against you. People say, I don't say. They say.
Every time I tear open the newspaper, I say,
They
well,
say
what the hell is this? Don't make no sense.
allegedly, you have the big brother of someone who is right against you
That's what
every
people say
single
now.
day. That's what people say.
Okay,
I don't
praise
say
God.
that. I don't, because I believe in the fourth estate. I believe in journalism. I believe in integrity. I believe in that. And I believe that the majority of Bahamians also believe in that and practice that. We have to respect our professionals. But then there's some people who behind me whisper in my ear and say, you may believe that, but I think you got a little target on your back. But, I losing a little bit of weight so the target getting a little smaller. You see? And so they say, so-and-so sister want to protect so-and-so brother, and then it trickles down to the
That's what
rest of
people
the family members. That's what people say, allegedly.
The
I
same
don't
people-
say that.
The same people talking to me, I guess.
Yeah, that's what people say.
They wouldn't stop.
But the fact of the matter is, when you enter frontline politics,
Okay.
a great MP and a very senior person in the Progressive Liberal Party, before I was elected, he said, I'm just before being elected, just being a candidate, he said, your life will never be the same. Because it's not about the truth for some of them. It's about winning at all cost. So they're not going to talk about the Moby Mat. Talk about the Moby Mat for what? For the handicapped people. They ain't got no time to talk about that. We got to win. They got to win. They ain't going to talk the
They're
fact
more
that...
interested in being salacious.
Yeah, they
and
can-
sending you things and say who did what and boom, boom, boom.
Listen to me. In 2010, the authority was created by an act of parliament. Right within the act, it says you gotta file your financials. Table it in the House of Assembly. Never been done before. I have all of them now. Each and every one of them. 2010, 11, 12, 13. Sorry, we have 14. We started with 14 because it's 10 years. Sorry, correction. We have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
And you have all
23,
these?
24. I have all of them. And we're just going to wait for execution of all of them, and then we're going to table them. See, there's a difference between governance and politics. That's governance. That's
You think the
fiscal
lines are blurred?
responsibility.
You think the lines are blurred in our society?
It gets especially blurred when it comes down to the final push of an election year. See, because governance is having two sets of accounting teams from two different companies come in and audit the authority. They don't work for me.
Yeah.
They don't work for me. They don't fraternize with our staff. They come in and they do the job.
Yeah.
Let the chips fall where they may. And they come in and they do their work for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Barack Obama had Obamacare?
I do.
He fought for Obamacare half of his term. People say, man, Obama need to ease up on Obamacare. He wasting his time. People come to me and say, man, boss, you got time to worry about this? And what I learned and discovered, I said, man, I want the audits for when I'm here because I want to produce them. They say, Chief, you can't just audit your years. You got to go back from inception, from the first check.
And you have all those.
Howard.
That's crazy.
We hired a team of accountants. They were there. The Parks and Beaches staff could tell you they had their own office. For the first year and a half, it was just compiling all of the checks, compiling all of the bank accounts, putting everything in order with the banking records from inception, because you cannot get into the audits without first doing that. For a year and a half, 2 years. They're right there. And then after that, those persons who would have prepared those reports can't audit themselves. So you have to bring in another team to audit that work. So if there was something to hide, if there was something nefarious, we would not have done that.
That's the first thing I was about to say.
And so, see, governance is man born. You know, I went to. Let me give you an example. I went to an elderly gentleman's house. He sit right by his window every time we come to his house. He's a big name for them. And I'll go to his home. I say, so and so, how you doing? This was like the first time I went to his home. Man, come from out my yard, man. Come from out my yard. So I say, okay. So I made him laugh. I said, man, if I go to my car and take the yellow shirt off and put on a red shirt, I'll be decent then? Because he said, man, y'all ain't decent. Y'all ain't decent. So, but I said, if I go and I take this yellow shirt off, because you don't know me, and I put on a red shirt, will that make me decent? That's politics. So it is not about whether it's truth in that. It's let me go to a park that we know was break down for 15 years. Park that was break down, or a bathroom that was closed when we was children. And say, look, Bonaby ain't fixed this yet.
Yeah, there's an audit being done on that also, and the Guardian being able to go down to various parks and beaches, and that's what I said. It seems as though
after someone was nominated.
It seems as though
after someone was
that's
nominated.
what I'm trying to tell you. That's all I'm trying to be decent with you. It
Yeah.
seems as though, because I've been there,
See, but the thing is,
and this ain't never happened before.
all roads run through the people. All roads run through the people. You got to go through the people to get to me. You got to go through them same people you ignored. Them same mama right there who may take a little long to get to her point. You got to sit right there on that stool
And be
listen.
patient.
And be patient. So you
Don't
might
rush,
go-
mama.
So see, a wise man, political man, Minky Isaacs from the BLP, he'd scream right now. He said, man, all politics is local. All politics is local. The people will protect you.
Absolutely.
So they read your story, and they say, man, we smart enough to see where this is going. Now, do we have work to do? Yes, we do. But before we can move forward, we had to move the people out of the old moldy building.
Mm-hmm.
We had to move them out of the old moldy building. We got to break down. No generator. We have a generator now. Standby generator. We had no cars, 2-3 cars, breaking down all the time. Parks and Beaches now have a fleet. And we're very cognizant of climate change. So we said, listen, man, we need some electric vehicles. The Ministry of Finance assisted us with that.
I just pulled up. I saw them.
Yeah, when I came to Claridge Road, I have the photos. I presented them in the House of Assembly. Every skag breakdown. Every skag. Every single skag. And what I try to get people to understand, Parks and Beaches is huge in the scope of its responsibilities. Ain't no joke. So we're responsible for cleaning all of New Providence. Every single cranny, nook and cranny, every single beach, we're also responsible for billboards, issuance and taking down. We're also responsible for all the vendoring, the vendors that you see. Huge. And then we have a staff. So if we go there and we fix a bathroom, right, Howard? We fix a bathroom because they've been vandalized. People don't want to talk about that. So you fix a bathroom. Somebody goes in and says, man, I'm going to break this toilet up. So then we spend...
And this happens.
All the time.
Which is weird.
All the time. And so we fix the bathroom and you leave it closed up. So the question I put to the board is, it didn't make no sense that we fix the bathroom then leave it closed. So then what that means? Because we got to respect ourselves. Because why even close it then when the woman walking around the track? She got to go dash off in the bush. Your wife, your daughter, someone Grammy, someone mummy, got to pull her pants down and go behind one tree and relieve herself.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So now we have to hire someone to man the bathroom. So there's a cost of repair, there's a cost to manage it, and then there's a cost to secure it. There's cost involved in that. So whenever we demand something in governance, there's a price tag to our demands.
Let me ask you this.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you think that you're introducing a sense of accountability to this space that you're in?
Yes, sir. And I think...
Because that's a lot of the question, a lot of the conversations that we're having, even with the introduction of the audit, even with being able to understand these things, even with the approach of humanity that you're taking, not necessarily from an elevated standpoint, but understanding, okay, I was in this position before. I wouldn't want my mother going in the bush. I wouldn't want these things.
No.
Do you think that this is an introduction to accountability in this space?
I think we can do more than contracts.
Because that's how it's looked at for a very long time.
We could do more than that.
That's how it's been looked at for a very long time.
I'm a professional, Howard, and my brain would turn to mush if I just stood there and just dealt with that. This ain't just about Just Road. And we invite the criticism. Let me say that. Because criticism sometimes kindles activity. So sometimes you have to say, man, Bonaby, man, this ain't acceptable. It guides us, it moves us. Because we live in these spaces as well. But let me say this. There's a lot of I that I heard, and you say you. There's a team at Parks and Beaches.
I like that.
There's a team. There's a Mr. David Barry, the managing director. There's a Jeannie Scavallo, senior director. There is a Tanae Hanna, who's the public relations manager. There's a Mr. Walter Saunders. There's a Mr. Frederick Minnis. There's a Owen Whitfield. There are the women on the front desk. There's a customer service department that we never had. There is an events department that we never had. Never had these things. And as we travel, people always...
This is impressive, by
and
the way.
people look at... They say, well, you're all over the place traveling. What you traveling for? We found the Moby Mat traveling. That's where we found it.
Well,
I didn't find it through a corner in New Providence.
I want you to tell me about the Moby Mat, but let me take this quick break.
Yeah.
Let me take this break, guys, and get back. We'll be able to find more about the Moby Mat, more about the accountability and the level of professionalism that's coming to Bahamas beaches and parks. This is an exciting thing, and I want to be able to talk more with Member of Parliament and Executive Chairman for the Bahamas beaches and parks, none other than McKell Bonaby. Quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
The official launch of the Moby Mat here at Goodman's Bay Beach is a pivotal moment. This initiative represents progress in a very real and visible way. Progress that brings greater inclusion, sustainability, and access to one of our nation's most treasured natural resources.
It is through initiatives like this that we can make meaningful strides toward a more inclusive society. Too often, we take for granted that we can step out of our cars, walk down to the shore, and dive into the sea. But for someone in a wheelchair, that simple joy is almost impossible. The Moby Mat changes that reality. It represents inclusion, accessibility, and dignity. And I commend you for making it happen.
For the end of the year, we intend to look at our 4 big beaches. Goodman's Bay is one of those, Saunders Beach, Montague, and Long Wharf. And so it is our goal and our intent to have that done before the end of the year. We looked at the reception here today, and I think we're even going to try to expedite it before that, but we want to under-promise and over-perform. We intend to travel to the Family Islands next month, Exuma. We're looking at Exuma, Andros, and Cat Island.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little piece that we kind of, took from Zednas. Yeah, but we had to be able to play that, let you know exactly what was going on. We're sitting here with none other than the executive chairman for Bahamas public beaches and public parks, none other than McKell Bonaby, being able to talk to us. We were talking a little politics at first, but wanted to be able to get into this thing, man. The Moby Map is a tremendous thing that you did. The concept and idea, one of the things that in our country, for decades now, the disabled community has always been able to say that we're an afterthought, right? There had to been at one point this sort of agitation to say, hey, listen, we need rails to get it built, that we need a slope, we need this, we need that. No one has ever taken into consideration this sort of an idea to give persons this liberty, access, opportunity to be able to enjoy something that many of us in these islands, this island nation, right? Many of us take for granted. And so tell me how this particular concept came up. You started to talk to me about traveling and us being able to do this as a result of traveling. Tell me how this concept came to life.
Well, there's a couple of things, but the thing that planted the seed in my mind was the speech from the throne, where the Prime Minister underscored through the Governor General the importance of access to beaches. It's there in the speech from the throne. And so one of the things we did as a board was first we hired a qualified Bahamian to provide us with to identify all of the access points for public beaches. And we've sent that opinion off to the Office of the Attorney General for his legal opinion as to the first opinion that was provided. And so, again, the scope and breadth of the work that we've been doing is far beyond what sometimes the public may see. That's the background work. And so when the Prime Minister said that, I said to the board, access is important, not just for those who are able to move on their own speed or their own power and under their own will, but we also said that we are a government for everyone, inclusivity. And so I said to my team, we have to travel. We have to learn. The authority must learn from other authorities throughout the world. Some authorities are 50 years old, 60 years old. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Makes no sense. And so on one of our trips, not very far, right in Florida, we found the Moby Map on one of the beaches.
Right across the street?
Right across the road. $2. Nothing to talk about.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I look at that and I say, this feels like a European thing.
Yeah. And so we went right over to our brothers in the U.S. And I said, listen, what is this? He said, man, you could push people on this, and you could do this, and you could do that, and we'll get into that. And I looked at my team of executives, and I said, man, we got to do this. We got to do this. And I told the board, and I went to my board of directors, and I said, team, you can't lose if you do this. This is bulletproof. Nobody could ever say that this is not a good idea. Because you think about that when you're spending funds. You think about that. And then you think about the hundreds, thousands of Bahamians that are handicapped. And then you begin to learn a little bit more about the usage of the Moby Map. So, for instance, strollers. Because you're just thinking about people who...
Baby strollers.
Yeah, baby strollers. And then you also have the adult push. I think the strollers as well. The adults push. The elderly to move about. And then you have people who have issues with walking on the sand. Muscle issues, nerve issues. And we don't like to talk about this, a lot. Let me don't say we, but a lot of us don't like to talk about our African history. I'm a Christian, Baptist Christian. But we believe in the healing powers of the sea. Man, you get sick, the old people tell you,
Go down to the water.
go to the water.
Yeah.
We have
Let the water run over your head, baby.
and we got
My grandma tell me that.
and you gotta wade in what?
In the water.
You gotta wade in the water. And so we understood the importance of getting people into the water. That's we thing. You gotta understand that. We need you to understand that. I understand that. So I and I brand new when I get put in a position. And so then we got stories right on the day that we were opening, and then we saw people right out there lifting people out of the car. Heavy set people who've been in the hospital with bad sores. They want that salt water to run through their body, clean them up. And their brother gotta come and the mummy gotta come and no dignity. Your little shame. It don't look good. You're hailing people while you're living. Hey, what you say? People asking you need some help with that? And we say, no, man. When we started in our blueprint for change, when we started with our blueprint for change, we said we want to bring dignity back to Bahamian people.
I like it.
And that's not just in the same
When you say
thing.
dignity back, this was never even, I don't think, I've never heard of this until you did it. I can be honest with you.
It's a first.
I've never heard of this until you did it. And so dignity back in this particular, this is an introduction of dignity.
This is what I was about to say. Social service has its role to play. But we have to sit down and we have to be very ingenuitive in what we do. So what role can I play in bringing dignity back?
I like
On
this.
the police force, what can I do in bringing dignity back? What can I do as a defense force officer?
I like this.
What can I do as NIB, as a security officer, to provide dignity to the average Bahamian person? And when we looked at it, we said, listen, man, this is something that is going to impact the least of us. Let me say this to you. When I met with my team after we won the general election, I would meet with them every morning. And I would say the same thing to them about the constituency. When I leave, before I get into the parks and beaches, I stop by the constituency office. We sit down in the boardroom, and they know what I can say. They just waiting on it. I say to them, I say, listen to me. We are going to help the least amongst us. And they say, okay, what that mean, boss? I say, don't tell me who is most likely to succeed. Tell me
This is a biblical principle.
who is most
It's not
likely
getting preachy.
to fail. Tell me who hanging on by a thread. Where he is. They say, man, Ninja need a job. Call Ninja. But Ninja ain't never had no work. You know what is hiring Ninja them? I said, call Ninja. He working now. Call this one. Why he ain't working? Oh, this man might not be able to read. Might be a little shame. We can help him too.
There's something for him to do.
Yeah, that's pride. Or they'll jump through your window. Or they live a life unfulfilled. And so when we see the organic videos, not the public relation videos where people say, I taken mommy down to the beach. And mom might be quadriplegic and her body can't move and is twisted. And she just put her toe in the water. Just put her toe in. And you see a little tail come out her eye. Because I always say to people, Howard, that when I go to their doors, especially the elderly, I say, man, they say, man, Bonaby, why should I vote for you early o'clock? Why should I vote for you? I said, because I'm a return on investment.
ROI.
I said, I'm a return on your investment. I said, you pay for me to go to school. I may not be your child, but you pay taxes. I'm in the private school and public school, so you cover that bill for me. You cover that bill. That's how I was able to get an education. So I owe you this. And I say, don't chop me down because I'm a return on your investment. I'm an asset. And I want to be a blessing. And so at Parks and Beaches, when we decided, and my board, the board of directors, all of them signed off on it. And they were happy about it. And to see it for those who are amongst us. So we look at the blind are able to also use the mat, Howard. The blind. people who have canes, because if you go on the beach with a cane, that's a problem. You can't navigate with a cane because it's soft. And so, this it shows what we can do if we just for a moment put down our political spares, put down the fighting, and come together with some form of unity to make a difference, and grow wherever the Prime Minister put you. If he put me,
Yes, sir.
If he puts me at Antiquities and Monuments, I gonna go fix Columbus' leg, man. I gonna go fix Columbus' leg.
I gotta laugh. Can they even find that? That man beat that to pieces.
So the point is, no room for crying. Work where you are, grow where you are planted. That's it.
I like that.
Because people are counting on us, Howard. And it's a first. We had the first Family Island division at Parks and Beaches. Because if you look at the statutory act, local government, the Family Island is attached to Parks and Beaches as well. So we want to have a Family Island division that speaks to the local governors and speak to the members of parliament who also act as in that capacity as well. A first. The events department. A first.
So if I want to have an event, cookout, a wedding, sauce, I'm out something, I call you.
That is, yes, you do. But that's an event planned by the public. We are also talking about events started by Parks and Beaches. So we had the summer workout in the park. We had karate in the park. We have all of these events. Like if you go to New York, like if you go to London.
I have to commend you, by the way.
If you go to,
as I sit here with you, because all you can do is tell me more and more things that you've done. As I sit here with you, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And I don't just say this haphazardly because you're sitting here with me. This is impressive. That you've taken on this particular task and you have not grumbled. You have worked diligently with a sort of a concept and idea that your work is not unto man, your work is unto supremacy, your work is unto God. Because this is going to leave a legacy to ensure that when people come behind you, they know exactly what to do. It's heavy.
Listen, one of my executives, my directors is in this room. And she said to me all the time, Chairman, you always talking about you ain't nowhere. You ain't nowhere. Right? And I say to her, Miss Cavallo, I just call her Jeannie. I say, Jeannie, I can make sure the new chairman have it better than I had it. I don't care what side they come on. They ain't got to come here and do no audit reports. They can be done. They ain't going to have to come down and they ain't got no fleet of vehicles. It can be done. We can make sure it happens. And God first. But I am so indebted to the Prime Minister for giving me an opportunity.
Isn't it an overwhelming thing? Because he didn't have to. He didn't have to.
Listen, some of us under our former administration was deputy chairmans and so forth. I ain't got no billboard name. I ain't got no billboard daddy. I ain't got no billboard mummy. That's why when you come into my office, when you come in, thank you, when you come in to my office and I see that hungry look in your eyes, I know that. I know that. I know how it is for someone to be able to bless me and still finesse me. They won't help you.
Nah.
So I know about that. So I cannot say to the Prime Minister that I care about him without doing some work. I slapping up. If I there in the photo and I won't be to all the events and ain't nothing wrong with that. But work. Because if there's one Prime Minister that deserves a second term, it's Mr. Philip Brave Davis.
I had an opportunity, and I ain't gonna tell all the story, but I can tell enough of the story so you could understand. I had an opportunity to be able to sit and hear the historic value of contribution that the current Prime Minister has made when he was in the law offices of with him, Hubert Ingram, and former Prime Minister Perry Christie, whatever one of them, right? And
we call it CID, Christie Ingram Davis.
the CID, okay, with the CID, right?
CID.
So the story that came to me started to talk to me about the personalities of each of the individuals, and how former Prime Minister Christie would always give you a good talk and always woo you with the words, and how former Prime Minister Ingram would actually take this kind of a posture where he didn't want people to speak to him. And so Christie and Ingram never visited court as much as Prime Minister Davis, current Prime Minister Davis. And by his work ethic alone, by his commitment, he's become a KC. He's done all these wonderful things over the years. And the language before he's even won this, let's be very clear. The language before he's even won this position as leader of the Progressive Liberal Party and then eventually finding himself as prime minister, persons used to come to the radio station and say, Howard, listen to me. FNM and PLB, I promise you. FNM, the mic's off, Howard. Brave is the man. Whatever I need, I could go to Brave and get it done. His legacy goes far. It's
Listen
well
to me. You know, we say, our age group, Howard, we say, that's my boy. That's my brethren. That's what we say. There's so much people from the Free National Movement that come into my office and they say to me, older men and mature people, they say, I don't call him, I call him PM. They say Brave. They say Brave is my personal friend.
Every single time. FNM, PLP, every single time.
They say he is my personal friend.
I promise you.
So I started saying, who calling me their personal friend? Who? And he will call you in and say, help people. Help people.
Wow.
And he, as you said, he just started doing that. We could go
Before
on.
he was even in this leadership capacity.
But you said something, and
People. FNM and PLP.
And I think that wasn't just revealed to you by man. I think that was, and let me say why. Because when you say that he was left in the law firm, who do you think comes to the law firm? The infirm, the broken, the scared, the sick, the troubled.
It was a divine thing then.
So when they leave you there on the what is perceived to be the bottom, you're building a foundation.
Listen, and he scratches his way right up to the top.
That's the boss. That's the boss.
I got to commend him. And I got to commend him for being able to identify the talent that exists with the team that is around him, the talent that exists in so many persons and putting them strategically
He fosters
in this
that.
position.
He fosters that. And this is why, like I was saying to you off when we were on the break, I said, in some political parties and sometimes even in ours, in our history, some of the members of parliament begin to eclipse the party. Ain't none of us bigger than the brand. It's the Progressive Liberal Party.
Well, the mother fellas keep fighting because everybody bigger than the brand.
And so
I make this.
And so
You need me.
And what does that go back to? Let's talk about the brand. Then it means you have to go back to our Constitution. Our ethos, our philosophy, what we stand for. That's bigger than me. So if I walk outside and that's the last time you see me, what the PLP stands for, that's the bedrock. None of us is bigger than the bedrock.
Absolutely.
And we say this, and we say this on so many occasions. Adriana used to say to wipe every tear from every eye. And it is an impossible mission. But it means that we have set out to do the impossible. And never get weary in well-doing, if we faint not.
I like it.
Yeah, man. And we ain't fainting.
My brother, I want to thank you so much for being able to sit with me. I want you to talk to me about what's next for beaches and parks, and what you're going to be doing in those particular capacities, what we can see in those areas, and sort of let persons know when your constituency office is open, so forth and so on.
Well, the constituency office is open between 10 to 6, Monday to Friday.
Where's it located?
It's located right at the six-legged roundabout on 21st Century Drive. Most people know it if you say ISD. That's where you go to buy concrete, cement, right there. So we've been there for at least 6 years now. We were there before we won the seat. Parks and beaches, what you can expect from us is a full public relations run so that we could have enough time to basically let the public know what we're doing. We want to really get to the family of islands. What the Prime Minister has said is we're no longer going, not just parks and beaches. He wasn't speaking specifically to that, but he was speaking to governance, that we're not just going to be Nassau-centric. It's about the Bahamian people every single where. That's why you see what's happening in Zuma, what you see happening in Eleuthera, what you see happening in Cat Island, what you see happening in McKell, all of that development that is happening, all of that neglect that is being erased now by the Progressive Liberal Party. And so you're going to continue to see innovation from us. And we just want you to continue to look and see and feel the difference at parks and beaches.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to reintroduce you to the Member of Parliament. And I really wish you all the best. I'm going to be able to say that to you. I don't want to be able to put myself in the position to say that I want this one win or that one win, because it'll be indecent of me to do so. But I want to wish you the best.
Let the people say,
right.
the fellas say, that's what I would say. Let the fellas say.
The people say that, right?
Yeah, people say.
No, but I want you to do well, because you are a representation. And I've said this before on many occasions, that the youth in this country, despite your position, despite your political persuasion, the youth in this country, persons in my age group, 40 and moving up, we have to strategically find ourselves in the position of authority. We're going to be the next ones that take it over, right? And so we have to do so with conviction, with understanding, with an open heart, to be able to ensure that we put service to people above all.
And we need a brotherhood and sisterhood.
We do need a brotherhood and sisterhood.
And we got to think bigger than politics. We got to be bigger than
That's
politics.
exactly what you're saying, you know.
Yeah, man, we got to be. We need a brotherhood. See, because when you think attack first, it lowers your intellect. When you're mad, when you're angry. But if I see you as a brother or a sister, I can handle you differently. And so what I would invite,
I like that.
what I would like every single person in Treaty Politics, and I just a small time in this, run on your record. If you've been there before, run on your record. Tell the people the community center you build and the pool you build. Tell them about the road on Major Road from 1981. Tell them you paved that. Tell the people the rusty water that's been there for 40 years, rusty water and low water pressure, tell them you fixed that. Tell them all them boys who've been on the block and wasn't working, who was getting in problems, now they get a 9 to 5 and they tired when they get home, so they can't bother no one, and they got a couple savings in the bank account. Tell people when you go to their door, tell them that. Tell them about the trees you cut down. Tell them about the national impact that you would have made. Tell them about the entrepreneurial opportunities that you would have presented to people. Let's stop talking about people. Let's start talking about the things that we would have delivered for our communities. That's what we got to do.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than McKell Bonaby, who is the executive chair of Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches. He's doing a wonderful job. I got to commend you. What's the website that persons can be able to look at and see exactly what's what? You got a website?
Facebook page.
On your
McKell
Facebook
Bonaby
page.
for Mount Moriah.
Okay. You have Beaches and Park on the website?
It does, but I don't have it committed to memory.
Okay. Guys, I'm sure you could be able to pull it up. Just Google
Right.
Bahamas Beaches, Parks, find out those particular things, and you could be able to do that. He has done wonderful, and he is the Member of Parliament for Mount Moriah. And like he said, go to the six-legged roundabout if you want to find out more about it. Some persons, and I won't call him, I won't see him. He'll be there when you
376-3446, 376-3446, 819-3446. Everybody got that number. Just WhatsApp me. Don't call. WhatsApp. Much more easier that way.
when are you in office? You have office hours?
At the authority or at the constituency
At the
office?
constituency office.
Thursdays. Every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
And as needed. So if they call in and they say they want to see me, I actually go to the houses, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think psychologically, people say, I hire you here, and so they want to see you in their house. Now, there's some circumstances where they want to talk to you privately. They come to the constituency office.
I like
But
this.
all they got to do
It
is
feels like
just,
the human resources department in your house. So we come.
Yeah.
If it's an issue, I come into your house.
see, sometimes things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
If things can go haywire, it can be haywire because of me. Come
Yeah.
talk to me. This is my
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
WhatsApp me. It's a lot to do, but I like it that way.
I enjoyed this conversation, my brother. You've really been able to enlighten me about the responsibility that we have to be able to work with it in our hand, Moses. You know what I mean? Yeah. To work what's in our hand. And this staff that we have, it can do a tremendous amount. We have to be able to apply our faith and apply our conviction to ensure that these particular things are done. Like I said, I really, really do hope the absolute best for you. And I encourage you to be able to be steadfast, unmovable for all allegations and speculations and all that everything would coming at you. Be steadfast and unmovable.
Yeah, man. This a big man thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, McKell Bonaby. We're going to take this break, guys. Going to be right back
Yes, sir.
after this.